Yo, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Salute to my freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla gorillas in the building. Give y'all a minute to come in. I know it's been a minute since I did. Been a while since I did a live stream. So it's going to take a minute to, if the notifications go out, for them to go out, whatever. It is what it is. Not going to be on here long. Just want to give my quick 2 cents on this Correspondents Dinner shooting. The shooting that happened. You know, um, I call bullshit on that. You know what I mean? I don't, I don't believe that it happened the way they said it happened. And yeah, I think that when I looked at the video, I looked at the reactions to the people in the dinner. It just didn't make sense to me, right? There were shots going off, and people were moving and going this way and that way, and acting like there was a shooter. I just don't think that they were acting like a shooter was active in real life. I think they were, you know, it looked like a production, right? It looked like, oh, okay, somebody's shooting. We got to go over here. You go over there. There was no, in my opinion, there was no real sense of urgency. JD Vance, who's supposed to be a veteran, is standing up tall. Shooting is going on, but he's standing up and walking around. It just was, I don't believe him. I just don't believe him. And of course, Erika Kirk is at the dinner. You know what I'm saying? Because she goes wherever Donald Trump goes now. Erika Kirk is just everywhere. Uh, every time Donald Trump goes somewhere, she's in the audience. She's around, making her presence known. Putting herself out there. She has aspirations, I believe, to be some type of you know politician. Go for it. You are absolutely correct. Salute to you, Barmy. I think this was a production. I think it to me it looked like a fake ass drill or something. Like, okay, somebody's going to shoot over there. You guys have to react. You got to hop under the table. You got to get up and move around. You got the Secret Service standing there. It just it didn't look like there was really a shooter there and that people were actually in fear for their lives. That's just my opinion. Okay. But right off the bat, when I heard about this, I said bullshit before I even saw the video. Okay. Now this is a correspondence dinner that they do. These elite class motherfuckers, they gather around and the president speaks to them, and they talk about and they hobnob, um, eat expensive dinners and shit on the U.S. taxpayer dime. That's what they do, right? At these correspondence dinners, and then people get up there and talk shit, blah blah blah. Now, now, here is my problem. Who is this handsome truth teller? Salute to you, Captain. I'm just, I'm just a regular motherfucker, just calling it like I see it. Nothing special. Here's my problem with this story. Okay. This is happening in a hotel. Troll Slayer, salute to you. It's in a hotel. Okay. That's where this correspondence dinner is. It's in a hotel in one of those banquet rooms. Okay. Now, my question is, Uh, Glau Rowe says regular folks run this world. No, we don't. That's the problem. The problem is we don't run this world. Now, the bigger problem is people are trying to run the world in the first place. That's why we get in these positions. That's why we end up enslaved. That's why we end up being controlled. That's why tyrants spring up and, you know, try to assert their will, is because there's always somebody trying to rule the world. If motherfuckers just stop trying to rule the world and run the world and just mind their own goddamn business, this world would be a better place. Think about it. If 60+% of the people in the world just wanted to mind their own fucking business, hey, it would be a better world. Gloro, yes, slavery is just a mindset. You're absolutely right. And there are a lot of enslaved people that don't even realize they're slaves. And the reason they're slaves is because they put more into the system than the system puts into them. As a matter of fact, right? You're working hand over fist and they're extracting all your wealth and you don't have a choice. When you are being forced to do things against your will, that is a form of slavery. Kanye said slavery is a mindset. No, he said slavery is a choice. That's what he said. He said slavery is a choice. But that's neither here nor there. Right now, I want to talk about why this correspondence dinner shooting makes no fucking sense. It happened in a hotel room. Okay. This is not something that occurs in an outdoor space with a bunch of roofs all over the place. How did a shooter, how did an armed person get into that room, into that banquet room, and fire shots? How did he get past the security? You got the vice president is there, right? The president is there. How is it that an active shooter got into the building in the first place? How did they get into the room where you got all these people? Oh, absolutely, Black Spring Autumn. The stage is set. Am I wearing a wig? Sure. I'm wearing a wig. Anyway, how did an armed individual make it into the banquet room? How? And if they did, then we should be seeing the firings of a whole lot of people, right? A lot of people that's part of the security team should be getting fired right now today. We should be hearing an announcement of how many motherfuckers got fired. How did the motherfuckers get in there? Because they're all round earthers. I do believe it. I believe it was fake. A Democrat let him in. I mean, the blonde lady said before that it'd be shots fired because Cash Patel is an idiot. No, because this shit ain't real. Okay, this shit was fake. Okay, that's just my opinion based on common sense and based on it doesn't make sense that an armed individual got into that room. I look like a heart surgeon. Absolutely, thank you. I'm about to get my workout in, so I put something on to keep the sweat out of my eyes. Now, what was this production put on for? Okay. What was this production put on for? Was it to make it appear as though the president and the vice president is in so much danger that someone's gunning for them? No, we already had someone take attempts on Donald Trump's life multiple times, right? Yeah, it was in a hotel. It wasn't in the ballroom. It was in a hotel. I forgot the name of the hotel. I forgot the hotel. I think it's a Hilton Hotel or something. No, Donald Trump already had multiple attempts on his life. Okay. No, there's already this idea that Donald Trump, uh, avoided so much danger so many times. Somebody said conspiracy bullshit. Then why are you here? Salute to you, Snow Angel. Salute to Snow Angel for sending that gift. Oh, look, it's a statistic. Says, don't do that. Who's doing this shit? No, don't put. No, I'm not. I'm not with the kaleidoscopic glasses. Don't do that. Anyway, somebody says conspiracy bullshit. Whatever. I'm not telling y'all conspiracy theory. I'm telling you guys. I'm giving you a hypothesis. It's not a. It's not a theory. I'm good, Rebecca. Salute to you. I'm feeling good. I'm about to get my workout in. I just wanted to get this out that I think that this was a production put on because Erika Kirk didn't show up in Atlanta to the JD Vance thing where she was supposed to meet with JD Vance and speak with JD Vance, and she said that she was in danger, right? The reason she didn't show up was because she said she had threats out on her life. Okay. And things okay. Why are we doing this? How do I stop this shit? Crazy as hell, man. Um Now many people believe Erika Kirk didn't show up because not a lot of people bought tickets, not a lot of people wanted to attend and listen to her speak, right? And so, you know, it came out from her team that, you know, it really was because, you know, how do I stop this? This shit is crazy work. I appreciate the gifts, but but think about it. Caroline Levin said there will be some shots fired tonight. She said that? I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. But so I don't know what this thing is about Erika Kirk, where her husband Charlie Kirk died, and she's supposed to take up the mantle of what Charlie Kirk was, right? She took over as CEO. Donald Trump appointed her into some military board. You know, um, she's trying to. She wants to be some power player, and when she got called out for missing that event because not a lot of people showed up. As a matter of fact, they're saying that she was actually at the event and just left, right? Like she actually flew out there, she landed, she was actually off stage somewhere, and when she saw that not a lot of people were interested in what she had to say, she got up out of there and made up this story about her life being in danger, right? Um, which a lot of people didn't think made any sense because JD Vance is the vice president. So if there was some legitimate threat out there, then JD Vance definitely would not have been allowed to go to that event. And then the Secret Service came out and said, no, there was no there was no legitimate threat, right? Oh, salute to by hearing by salute to you. Good dawning to you as well. Grown with soul, salute to you. Top of the AM, brother. LDB Street, LDBC strong, salute to you. Yes. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Yes, absolutely. Can I explain who I am? I am a Snapzilla Gorilla, and yeah, that's who I am. I'm no one special, you know. I speak on I speak on events that are going on, and I call out the bullshit. I try to encourage people to be freedom minded, right? To break free of these chains, to remove their consent to be governed. So every opportunity I get, I'm going to show you guys why we should remove our consent. You know what I'm saying? Um, because it's important that we stop putting so much faith in these people that really don't give a shit about you, right? They don't really have your best interests at heart. They just want to control you. They want your wealth and they want your children, right? Yes, centralized systems have to fail, right? Because there's not enough. There's not enough. If people don't have autonomy and you know, if individualism isn't put first, right? If we focus on collectivism and hive mindedness, it can become a problem, right? Because whoever controls the hive mind can steer people in the wrong direction and towards their own destruction. And that's what's been going on. Are you going to a reunion? Oh yeah. I just gotta get my tickets. Yeah, for sure. Growing with soul. I'm going to the reunion. Just gotta get my ticket. I'm going to I'm going to Cali with my daughters in July. So I just bought their tickets. Now I got to buy the tickets to Milwaukee now. So why, in my opinion, right? Erika Kirk is there. You know what I'm saying? All these people are there. Shots are fired, and don't be surprised if within the next few days, Erika Kirk comes out, or Erika Kirk's people, or Turning Point USA comes out and says, "See, I told you Erika Kirk was in danger." They might try to steer this towards this shooting having targeted Erika Kirk. Okay, I think they have plans for Erika Kirk in the near future to try to make her some type of, maybe not president, but some type of politician, right? I think they are trying to do that. I think that's what they want to do. Captain Wi-Fi Mars says false flag. That's what I believe. And this false flag, in my opinion, could serve multiple purposes. But like I said, um, who is going to help the most is in Erika Kirk, right? It's going to help her the most. They can manipulate this and frame this to make it look like Erika Kirk was the target, right? To try to shut other people down, to try to take the credibility away from people that are calling out the bullshit. Uh, Grown with Soul says we should all be leaving real skills, farming, electrical, plumbing, etc. skills for when the MF collapse. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I push. We need to start focusing on that, right? We need to look into buying land. We need to look into becoming self-sufficient, self-reliant, right? That's what we should be focusing on as individuals or as individual communities. The smaller the community, the better, right? Because I don't believe, it's not like I don't believe in leadership. I have no problem with leadership. I have no problem with leaders guiding their people, right? And that's how it should be. It should be leaders guide. They don't dictate and they don't control, but they guide people, right? You guide people because you have their best interest at heart, and because you want to look out for the best interest of everyone you are guiding. The more people you have within a community or a society under one centralized control structure, the worse it is for the people uh, that are subject to that control structure. Does that make sense? The lunatic librarian libertarian says, "I've been talking about the Renaissance man for years, multiple skill sets." Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea, especially if you're going to be rocking solo, right? It's good to have a different skills, right? It's good to have an abundant skill set, right? Because if you're going to, let's say you want to be a lone mountain man, you're going to have to know how to do multiple things. But if you operate within a community, if you build a community, you can have multiple people that have different skill sets, and everyone works together to help build and maintain that community. Uh, the lunatic libertarian says, been listening to the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist papers lately. Are you talking about on Guns and Gadgets? Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I need to go ahead and check that out. But you know, I think it's very interesting that this shooting happened and it just looked like a bunch of bullshit. It looked like I just I can't, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I need to see. It didn't really look like people thought their life was in danger. It just really didn't look like that. Okay, it looked like I don't know, man. To me, in my opinion, it was staged. It was staged to serve multiple purposes. Trust and believe Erika Kirk is going to use this. Okay, she's going to use it to shut down the haters. She's going to use it to lend credibility to herself. She's going to use it to propel herself even further, right? And to shut down the haters like Candace Owens and all them, right? What are the facts other than your conspiracy theories? What are the facts? It's not a conspiracy theory, number one, Simon JTR. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not. I'm hypothesizing. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. It's not a theory. To me, it looks staged. I don't believe it, and I have a right. I have a right to not believe it and believe it was staged, point blank and period. I don't. I'm telling you that it's an opinion based on what I saw, right? I don't have. Oh, the audiobooks. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up, lunatic libertarian. I don't have access to anything at the correspondence dinner, so you know. And I'm definitely not just going to believe what the news tells us. I'm not going to believe anything that comes from the White House. So, you know, I'm just looking at it and I'm looking at the people's reactions. I'm thinking about certain things that other people aren't thinking about. Like, how did someone get in the building and in that room with a gun past all that extensive security that they have? That's what I'm thinking. That's the first thing I thought about. I'm like, how did correspondence dinner is happening inside a building? It's not outside. You, these people aren't exposed on some type of stage surrounded by buildings or high points. It's in a room where everyone should be getting searched, right? Extensively searched. So even if they had a wand, a metal detection wand or something like that, you still should be patting people down, right? And definitely need to be checking them. I mean, you got high value targets in this room, yet you allowed someone with a gun not only to pull out the gun, but to shoot the gun. So they got in there with the gun, they pulled the gun out, and they were able to shoot the gun. I don't believe it. Point blank and period. Thank you, Black Spring. Yes, hit the like button, y'all. It's a distraction. Yes, it serves multiple purposes. It's a distraction. They want you to believe that certain people are in all this danger, so they must be important. That means that there's some value or credibility to what they're saying because somebody tried to kill them. Yeah, why not? Nora Campbell says, you all idiots. Okay. Tell me how. Tell me how. A butler PA job? Absolutely. Except, at least in Butler, Pennsylvania, it made more sense. I mean, it made more sense because the guy was able to get onto a roof. It was outside. It's less easy for them to control the situation if it's outside, right? But even then it didn't make sense because how did you allow that how did you allow that building How'd you allow someone to get onto that roof? The roof should have been covered for sure, right? Grown with Soul says, Brother Freedom, the elite knows that critical thinking is at a low. Oh, yes, absolutely reality TV. It's a Nora can believe what she wants. Nora can y'all think it's staged. Everything this admin does to you guys, just bitch about. Okay, tell me how it's not staged. Why should I believe that it's not staged, Nora? So I'm an idiot for not believing the government because the government is so truthful and trustworthy, right? The government has proven that they're trustworthy. They haven't been lying to us for decades and decades. Why would I believe it is? Because the way people reacted, the fact that they allowed somebody to get in there with a gun in the first place. I just don't believe it. I believe it's staged because my first instinct when it comes to the government and what the government puts out there is to not trust it because they have proven time and time again that they are liars. Yeah. But you said I'm an idiot. You should be telling me why it's stupid to think that it's staged rather than asking me why I believe it's staged. Right? Because you must have some information. You must have information that I'm not considering, right? You have information that I'm not considering that you believe proves it wasn't staged. And instead of giving me that information, you're asking me why I think it's staged. So you you're painting me in as an idiot before asking me why I believe what I believe. Right? That's what you're doing. Right? Damn it. Uh Lachey Butler says, notice that once he was ordered to pause the construction of the ballroom, then once this convenient scene took place, decides to once more mention his bunker ballroom. He used the media dinner. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense too. That makes sense as well. I mean, like I said, there are this shooting could solve multiple purposes, right? Multiple purposes. It's convenient for everybody. It works out. It does what a lot of people want it to do. Yes, projection is a powerful drug. Mandated mushrooms says, we don't need the Supreme Court to negotiate Constitution as ratified when the original 10 amendments of the Bill of Rights. Yes, this is absolutely a fact, lunatic libertarian. Absolutely. But you know, there are certain things that they argue in court. They pass laws that violate the Constitution, and then they take it up to the Supreme Court like it's necessary. No, if it violates the amendments, it should not be passed into law, period. Like it should be ignored. It should not be enforced. But this is not what they do. That's an agent, Brother Freedom, here to try to derail this conversation. They do that all the time, right? They do that all the time. Um, the bottom line is, I don't believe that a shooting actually occurred. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think that they're going to use this for many different purposes. It's going to serve multiple purposes. It's going to help boost Erika Kirk, right? It's going to work for Donald Trump. It's going to work for many different people involved in this situation, right? It's going to paint this picture that you know uh, they are legitimate, right? It's going to lend to their legitimacy. Oh, okay, for sure, lunatic libertarian. Um, but I don't believe it, right? I don't believe it. But we'll see what comes out, right? We'll see what happens. We'll get more information, hopefully, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna get off here and get my workout in, man. I gotta get my workout started. Got to get my workout in and get it cracking. Uh, Salute to everybody. The Constitution, when upheld by the people, is the supreme law of the land. Yes, lunatic libertarian, that's how it's supposed to be. But the problem with that, right, is that we allow the centralized government, right? We allow them to violate the Constitution, right? And the Constitution itself gives them a way to violate the Constitution. It's called the Supremacy Clause, right? So you have the 10th Amendment, right, which is states' rights. You have state rights, which is not just the right of the state itself, it's the right of the people of that state, right? You have the 10th Amendment, which includes states' rights, right? But then you have the Supremacy Clause. The Supremacy Clause gives the federal government supremacy over states' rights. That's the problem, is that the Constitution itself is extremely contradictory. Why? Because it's written by man. See, even though the Federalists presented it as though, well, we need the centralized power to protect us from tyrants, right? To prevent tyrants from trying to take over, to prevent another situation where, right, the King of England can no longer control the colonists over here in the United States. That's what it was put in place to do. But they also put in place a centralized government with 3 branches, right? It has 3 branches. It gave them, you know, oh, salute the convos with Cam. Salute the convos. Salute the beautiful Queen Sister Cameron. Thank you for coming through. The problem with the Constitution is that it gives power to the centralized government, but then it also places restraints on the centralized government, right? But think about this. The Constitution places restrictions on the power the centralized government has on the people. But it also allows the government to determine when there's a violation of those restrictions. Can you imagine? That's what it does. The Constitution places restrictions on government that it allows the government to determine when it's violated. And that's the problem you have, right? That's the problem. So there is an even more supreme law of the land over the Constitution. And that's just being born as a human being. Being born as a human being, that's all you need. You're born, you're alive, you're a human being. You have certain inalienable rights that aren't enumerated in the Constitution, right? That you don't need the Constitution to protect. It's just a recognition that you're a human being and that anybody that would try to violate your rights should be dealt with. But what the Constitution does, it gives power to a centralized government that is supposed to determine when your rights are being violated. No, that's where we have a problem. Because if that government feels like it doesn't care or give a shit about your rights, it's going to find a way to violate your rights, and it's going to wipe its ass with the Constitution, right? It's going to wipe it. The government wipes its ass with the Constitution, but the government is supposed to protect our rights. Well, if the government doesn't want to protect our rights, it's not going to do it. As a matter of fact, if it wants to violate our rights, it's going to do it. All these people, all these government officials, these politicians, soldiers, military people, they all swear to defend and uphold the Constitution. They all do it. They all they all raise their right hand, put their hand on the Bible, wherever the fuck they believe in, and they swear to uphold and defend the Constitution. And they swear to protect and defend the nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And they break their oath every fucking day. They break their oath every fucking day. They all do it. They all violate the Constitution. They all violate their oath to office. They all do it. And who do we rely on to punish these people for violating their oath? We rely on the government to make sure the government doesn't violate our rights. That's the problem. Does that make sense? Claymore Rain, salute to Claymore Rain in the building. Salute to y'all. Hey, make sure y'all put y'all links in the chat, man. If you guys got channels, make sure you guys drop your link so that people can come check y'all out. The lunatic libertarian says we need to retract the systems back to the original documents, remove the restrictions on life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I think that we need to retract every government system back to zero, right? Regardless of the Constitution. Like, we should know, right? You should inherently know that you should not be violating other people's rights. You shouldn't need a constitution to tell you not to violate someone's rights. The Constitution is a paper tiger because they violate it all the time. They violate it. No, even if you, because at one point, lunatic, those systems, it was already back to those bare bones documents that you're talking about. They already existed. So even if you strip it away, you strip all the bullshit away that began to where the tyranny began, you strip all that away. You strip all these systems back to the original documents. And you leave the central government in place. That central government will find a way to put those systems back in place. Exactly. It's the people's responsibility to hold the government accountable. But the problem is that the government is in place to begin with. If it's up to us, if it's up to the people to hold the government responsible, then why do we need the government? Why not just get rid of the middleman and govern ourselves? Govern yourself. Govern yourself, protect your rights, protect this, all that. Just get rid of the central government, and you won't have to worry about any of that. The central government is the problem. The only reason we needed a constitution is because they created a central government. Before that, every other colony had their own constitution. They needed a constitution because even in that colony, the power was centralized. Well, the more central that government is and the more power it has over a large amount of people, the less accountable they will be held by those people. Pipe dream, never going to happen. Was never going to happen. It's not a pipe dream. It's not a pipe dream. You just You have no idea. You have no interest in being self-sufficient and relying and depending on yourself to keep yourself free. That you expect the government to protect your rights, to take care of you. That's the reason it's a pipe dream. No, what the pipe dream is believing that we can control the government. That's the pipe dream. The pipe dream is believing that the government is for the people and by the people. That that is the pipe dream. The pipe dream is believing that you can place a central government in place and allow the elite class to rule over you and think that the elite class is going to look out for your best interest. That's the pipe dream. How well is that working out for y'all? How well is it working out? Y'all think that anarchy can? Oh, anarchy is a pipe dream. True freedom is a pipe dream. It's not going to work. Y'all think it's not going to work. How is central government working? How is central power working? Is that working out for anybody? Help me understand it. Is central power working for the people? No, it's not. But because it has existed and been in place for all these centuries, you think that it is working, and it's not working. You think it's working? You think it's working when they're screwing you left and right. They're extracting our wealth. They're sending it to other nations like Israeli, right? They're wasting hundreds of billions of our dollars. They're wasting our money. They're enriching themselves. They're enriching their buddies, right? And they're extracting your wealth. They are diluting the value of our dollar. They are reducing. How is the government working right now? How? See, y'all say, oh, well, true freedom is not attainable. Oh, it's never going to work. There's always going to be somebody that's going to try to control something and all this other shit, right? That's what you say. Salute the coach of the truth teller. Salute to my brother. By hearing by says my ex-wife is going to learn to wash their own dishes and the world will be a better place. Absolutely. Think about it. Salute to Coach Comrade, Coach B. Hudson. Y'all think that true freedom is a pipe dream while we're getting screwed by the government. The alternative is to continue to allow the government to run shit and diminish the middle class, right? Reduce what you can and can't own, restrict. They are trying. They don't want you to own anything. They don't want you to. They want to take as much from you as they can. They don't want you to have freedom of travel. They don't want you to own land, right? They don't want you to own anything. They want you to believe that you don't need to own anything, that you just need to just chill in this 15-minute city. We'll provide you everything you need. All you got to do is just be good little subjects. Just sit there behind your computer. Don't even worry about it. We're going to replace your jobs with AI, but we're going to give you universal basic income. But that income is going to be in the form of credits that they're going to allot you. They're going to allot you a certain amount of credits every month. And you can only use those credits to get what you want. Y'all think that is that the life y'all want? Why do you think they're building all these data centers? Anyway, I got to go. It's been great talking to y'all. Yeah, central banking. Y'all think that freedom is a pipe dream. Y'all think that decentralizing the government. Y'all think that breaking it down. Y'all think that smaller communities of people controlling their own lives. Small communities of people that mind their own goddamn business, that work together and mind it. Y'all think that that's a pipe dream? How is it a pipe? Have you ever minded your business before? Have you ever said, you know what? I don't like the way that guy is planting his flowers. I don't like those types of flowers. But oh, it looks ugly. This guy's house is right next to mine. But he's planting these ugly ass flowers. I don't like those flowers. But you know what? It's his property. I'm gonna mind my own fucking business. That's a pipe dream to y'all? Live your life and mind your own fucking business. Stop trying to control other people. Stop trying to control people. Stop trying to commit tyranny over others. Stop trying to. Why is that a pipe dream? Someone asked, "Who do I vote for?" I don't vote. Don hates Trumbo. I don't vote. Housing associations are a participation choice. Yeah, if you buy the house, if you decide to get a house in that HOA, yeah, sure. Diane says, STFU, how about you get the fuck out of my chat? Don't tell me what to do on my channel. There. You can go bye-bye. Anyway, just think about it. Y'all telling me that the pipe dream is minding your own fucking business and leaving other people alone. That's a pipe dream? People do it every day, by the way. People do it every day. I don't like some things people do, but they're not doing anything to me. I just don't like it. Okay, well, that's on you. That's your business. Anyway, salute to everybody. I'll holler at y'all later. Yeah, exactly. This channel is not about who you voted for. Exactly. Much love. Like, share, subscribe, and let's keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. And go out there and get some movement in, man. Get your exercise in. Get fit. Get ready. Peace.